Today we are talking about Kenya and a little bit of Uganda. Here we have another person joining the waiting room. Okay. Well, I'm Julie Rose. I think most of you guys know me. I bring people along on amazing adventures around the world, and I've been doing this for a couple years now. I'm a nomad most of the time, traveling around to all these crazy and amazing destinations. And along the way, decided, hey, I know I do really cool things. I think other people should do them too. So I have tried to make it possible and attainable and economical and logistically easy for people to travel and see a lot of the really cool things that I've been able to see because I want to be able to share it all with people because also travel is more fun when it's shared. Memories are a little bit more memorable when you have people to do it with, to see it with. So I'm really excited to bring another African safari to my agenda. I first went to Africa this year in January. I spent almost 2 weeks in Kenya and I did it with SKYIN. So I'm going to introduce you to Skylar in just a second. We're going to talk about this really amazing itinerary. But first, I'm going to say my group and I had an incredible time in January. There was 10 of us. We went all around Kenya. And that experience has really helped me become a little bit of a bona fide safari expert and have a lot of experience in some of these places. I'm excited to have even more experience. But what it really enabled me to do is one, get to know Skylar and his team and everything that they bring to the table, and also be able to make some small refinements to the itinerary so that it's even more of what I think my travelers want. So we're gonna get into that in just a second, but first I'll let Skylar introduce himself, and then we'll talk about his company SKYIN and what you're going to experience on this awesome itinerary.
Thank you so much, Julie. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Skylar Mason. I'm the founder and CEO of my company, SKYIN. Now, when it comes to a destination like Kenya, I don't just specialize in Kenya. I truly call Kenya my home. I actually grew up back and forth between here in the States in Colorado, as well as in Kenya since I was 14 years old. So I have truly turned my passion into a career. I'm just like Julie. I have lived and experienced amazing, enriching life experiences throughout my entire time and throughout my life. And I really wanted to be able to share it with others while also making a sustainable impact for communities that I truly call home. So today, I'm here to present to you guys and take you guys on a virtual journey. We are going to start this off by kind of doing a whole presentation real quick. A lot of unique marketing videos, a lot of engagement to really entice you on what makes Kenya such a spectacular country. I have been selling Kenya for 7 years now. We have teams and offices both in Denver, Colorado, as well as in Nairobi, Kenya. And some exciting news is that we just launched Sky in Uganda about 4 months ago. Unlike Kenya, where you get the traditional safaris, the beaches, the indigenous tribal culture, Uganda is really well known for its gorilla and chimpanzee trekking. So, as Julie mentioned, she went on an extraordinary adventure to Kenya earlier this year. She obviously wants to include Kenya in her next package, but she even enhanced it a little bit more by now pairing it with Uganda. You guys are going to see that we are doing Kenya straight into Uganda. Uganda is the neighboring country. It's only an hour and 20-minute flight from the capital city of Kenya, Nairobi, to Entebbe, which is the capital city of Uganda. However, we also know that some people may not be able to afford both countries. They may not be able to have the time to be able to spend to go to both countries. So we'll take you through the virtual journey right now. Then we are going to walk through each itinerary, both Kenya as well as Uganda. We do have pricing to be able to share with you guys. And then at the end, we will open up to Q&A. I do highly suggest if you guys do have any questions along the way, kind of hold it. We do kind of walk you through a lot of the information throughout the presentation. And then at the end, we will be able to help answer any of your questions. With that being said, let me share my screen. 1 second. All right, Julie, can you see this okay?
Yes, I can.
And Julie, if any reason when I start playing the video, if you cannot hear the soundtrack right away, please just stop me. It should be good to go, though. All right,
Okay.
everybody, sit back, relax, and I welcome you to the journey of SKYIN. Now, I truly believe behind any incredible adventure, there's a story and vision behind it. And I'm here to be able to present to you guys my story real quick. So, as I mentioned, I happen to grow up back and forth between here in the States as well as in Kenya since I was 14 years old. And a common question is, how did you get to Kenya in the first place? What made that your home since a young boy? Ever since I was 2 years old. And I'm telling you, to this day, my parents still have no idea where this came from because they've never been anywhere in Africa before. They had no ties, no connections to Africa in the first place. But my passion, my connection, my entire life fascination since I was a toddler was all about Africa. I still have family friends that come over that keep telling me that every time they would come over when I was a young boy, I used to run around the house, drumming, dancing, singing, dreaming I was a part of a tribe. And since a young boy, my dream was to go to Africa and truly immerse myself. While most kids here in the States, they want to go to Disney World, get toys for the birthday, my dream was to truly go to Africa. Well, at the age of 14, my father was working with an individual in his industry at the time who happened to be from Kenya. My father introduced me, and this guy was about 50 years old. I was a really young boy. And I used to call this guy up every single week, just wanting to learn about his culture, his way of life, where he came from, his family back home. And about 6 months later, he approached my parents and invited me to come stay with him and his family for an entire summer. And as you guys can imagine, at such a young age, going to a world so different than our own, staying with local families, immersing myself into the local communities and the surrounding villages, traveling across the country with the local guidance by my side every step of the way, I was able to get an experience unlike any tourist could ever imagine. And that first time I touched down in Kenya, I was a kid in a candy shop. I felt like I was home. I felt like this was my calling. And now I truly believe that my past life had to been somewhere in Africa due to my connection. Well, every year ever since, I would travel back to Kenya, spending months at a time during my holiday season, building extensive relationships across the country. The mother that brought me in on my first time ever, which Julie happens to know as well on a personal level, is Mama Joy. Mama Joy is my second mother. She's my Kenyan mother, dear to my heart just as much as my own mother, and she completely transformed my life. To fast forward a little bit, I graduated from a business school from San Diego State University, and I did what most people do when you grow up in a family-owned business is I got into my family business. My father founded a smoked salmon manufacturer based here in Denver, Colorado. Our factory's here. We sell it nationwide. And I ran the company with my father for 6.5 years before I stepped down. Now, I worked my way up from a factory worker all the way to executive sales and marketing director, and my foresee future looked like I was about to take over my family business. My father sat me down one day and he invited me for dinner and he said, Skylar, I'm ready to retire. He said, I worked you trained in this position. Is this something you're ready to do and wanted to take on? Without a single hesitation, I said no. I said, one thing you've taught me in my life is to not follow anybody else's footsteps, but to create my own. And one thing I truly admired of my father's business, he created a huge factory that supported so many jobs for immigrants, people that never had second chances, for communities, families. I always dreamed about creating a business back home in Kenya that supported communities that I call family today. I knew that I had to been my calling had to been somewhere in Africa, and I did what most people don't do: is I followed that calling. A week later, I stepped down from my family-owned business. I knew I had more to my future than to follow my dad's footsteps. A month later, I booked a flight and went back home to Kenya and spent 3 months on a soul-searching adventure. What do I do? Do I build something? Do I manufacture something? Do I resource something? I know I have one mission, and it's to create as many sustainable jobs, opportunities, and resources for local communities in Kenya. But how do I do that? And all of a sudden, it hit me. When I was in Kenya, I realized the reason I cared so much because of the culture, the wildlife, the beaches, but most importantly, the hospitality. The people is what truly transform you. And I knew that there's a reason why I wanted to get back. And it's because of the experiences I had growing up since I was a young boy. From that day on, 7 years later, 7 years ago, I founded my company, SKYIN. And the mission behind my company is to, at the time, to create an authentic journey across Kenya. Now we just opened up into Uganda, and to establish a sustainable impact for the local communities, to be able to support resources, opportunities, jobs, but most importantly, create a brighter future and empowering the local communities that, again, I truly call family and home today.
My name is Skylar Mason, Ever since I was a young boy, I have traveled to different parts of Africa, living amongst the locals. I truly believe that the best way to travel is to see it how a local would see it. I created SKYIN because I want to give the same experiences to travelers who want to immerse themselves into this beautiful and captivating, fascinating culture through the lens of a local. When you go on a SKYIN experience, it's truly going to transform your life. But it's not only going to transform your life, it's going to transform the lives of others. By your engagement, you are creating job opportunities for local families to host and welcome you into their homes. The proceeds that these families get, they give it back to their communities, back to their villages, and it truly makes a difference. From the beautiful beaches of Mombasa, wildlife, its culture, to all the different tribal villages, your host family be by your side to make sure your trip is one you will never forget. Kenya has changed my life, and I know it will change yours.
Now, a few things just about our company before we dive into the experiences is that we are a DMC, which stands for Destination Management Company. We are that on-the-grounds company in the destination that supports and partners with agents just like Julie to be able to provide you guys the ultimate experience. Now, our specialty is FIT, which also means we curate private, customized excursions. So if for some reason you guys cannot make the exact dates that Julie is doing her group excursion in May of 2027, you guys like to travel sooner, you guys like to be able to do your own private family, customize your itinerary, please reach out to Julie. We customize every single one of our itineraries to make sure it's far from being a cookie cutter and truly tailor-made. And then we also specialize in small group excursions as well, up to 16 guests at a time. So those are our specialties, be able to provide you guys the ultimate group experience while also offering the opportunity to customize and do a private excursion as well. What benefits us is that we will take care of everything in destination. From the second you touch down to the second you take off, we take care of all accommodations, all private transportation, any domestic flights within the country, all your meals, activities, safaris, national park fees, everything is included in a lump sum fee. The only thing we don't take care of is pre-travel type of requirements such as international airfare, travel insurance, etc. But I know Julie can certainly help assist with that as well. Now, we are a global team. Our team and office here in Denver, we handle all planning, coordinating, and accounting. That benefits you guys because I understand sending money overseas in a foreign currency to a place like in Africa can be a little bit intimidating. So I made sure I built an entire team office. So all terms and conditions, all your money is being sent in US terms and US dollars at our US office. And then we have an entire team based in Nairobi, Kenya. They handle all on the ground logistics and operations. So you guys have 24/7 local and guidance from a local team throughout your entire experience while you're in destination. Now let's get into the exciting part, the experiences. Truly what makes Kenya and Uganda so spectacular is its wildlife. And that's what most people tend to go for the first place, is to experience the exotic wildlife in their natural habitat. Have you guys ever heard of the big five? That's lion, leopard, Cape buffalo, elephant, rhinoceros. That is a huge plus of going to Kenya. You get to be able to spot the big five and many other exotic animals. And there's so many unique ways to be able to show you on how to go on a safari while you're in Kenya. Now, those ways that you will be able to spot the wildlife is firstly guided game drives. You guys are going to be in our 4x4 company Land Cruisers with pop-up roofs. When you stand up, your head sticks up and you have a 360-degree panoramic view of all what's in front of you. This gives you the opportunity to be able to get up close to the wildlife while still respecting them and obviously ensuring your safety and comfort. Hot air balloon safari. This is an exotic way of being able to spot wildlife from a bird's eye view. We are offering this as an optional add-on. We understand some people, it is an expense, but we also understand that some people are afraid of heights. So we're not going to make sure that everybody has to do it, but being able to go on a hot air balloon safari over the Maasai Mara, where you're gliding over the savannas for about an hour, you're seeing exotic wildlife like lions, elephants, giraffes from below, and then it ends with a very luxurious champagne bush breakfast.
It's totally cool. It's totally worth it.
Totally worth it. It is a bit of pricey. We'll go over the pricing at the end, but it is totally worth it. It's a once in a lifetime experience. I've had clients that literally have. I had a client one time tell me she's been on 12 different hot air balloons all across the world. And initially, she did not want to do the hot air balloon here because she felt that, hey, I've done it before. Why do it again? She was with the group, and the group convinced her literally 3 days before they were going to do it to have her join the group and be able to do it. After she did the hot air balloon, she said she reached out to me and she said, Skylar, I'm so happy I did it. I could have done it anywhere in the world. She did it in Turkey. She's done it in, I believe, in Chile or somewhere down south in South America. But she said being able to spot wildlife when you're on a safari on a hot air balloon is truly spectacular. Other ways that people can go on safaris, this is not going to be included in this itinerary, but because you do have to go to certain conservancies to be able to get on foot. But there's also running, walking, biking safaris, horseback riding safaris, nighttime game drives. When you guys go to Uganda, you're going to do the gorilla trekking. Talk about a enriching experience. I mean, when you can get close to these apes, it's very safe and secure. You're with guided, very well-trained guides and armed rangers. But being able to see these animals, but the human traits that they have is so compelling. And just being able to, again, completely different experience and being on a vehicle, seeing lions and elephants and leopards, but being on foot, trekking through the tropical rainforest, getting up close to these beautiful apes, as well as chimpanzee trekking is something I would highly, highly recommend. You guys, there is a little bit of type of course, physical activity. You guys will be trekking. You're not climbing up a 14er by all means, but you are going through a thick, lush jungle. But if you guys are up for it, I promise you it is well worth the experience and something you'll cherish forever. While you guys are on safaris, you guys will be hosted at a variety of different safari lodges, camps, tree forts while you're in Uganda. So such a variety of different ways to be able to experience being deep into the bush. And that's what's really cool is that especially like when you're on safaris, you're on these guided tented camps and you can hear the animals at night. You can see all the stars up in the sky. You feel like you're remote, but yet you still have the amenities that you would have your own home, private comfortable bedrooms, bathrooms, tents, hot water showers, electricity, and very safe, secured properties. Now, when you're in Kenya, Kenya is very well known, and Nairobi, the capital city, is well known for its wildlife conservation sanctuaries. There's two that particularly stand out. Firstly is the Sheldrick Wildlife Trust. This is a baby elephant orphanage. They actually do have 2 baby rhinos now and a baby zebra. Those are new additions. But this is a great, one of the most well-known conservation sanctuaries of not just in Kenya, but all of Africa. The Sheldrick Wildlife Trust, I highly recommend looking them up. They rescue, rehabilitate, and reintroduce these baby elephants back into the wild. It does afford the opportunity for travelers to get up close to these animals. You get to gently feel them and then learn about the conservation as well. Also in Nairobi, they're very well known for its giraffe sanctuary. Again, these are rescue giraffes, and it gives the opportunity for you to get up close, feed the giraffes, learn about the conservation too. And then what
just
also
the softest tongues you ever like, just the softest little tongues. They're so cute.
And I promise you guys, if you guys have been, for example, the Cheyenne Zoo in Wyoming and you fed giraffes there, doing it in Kenya is very different than doing it at the zoo. I promise you that. It's in its natural landscapes, natural. It's such a unique experience. Another thing that makes especially Kenya so unique, and this is what makes one of my company very different than other suppliers and safari companies out there, is the exclusive cultural experience that we're able to offer. As I mentioned, I happen to grow up in Kenya. I've been a part of 2 indigenous tribes since I was a young boy. When I discovered SKYIN, I knew I wanted to provide a more authentic experience than what other companies offer. A lot of these other companies offer very canned, commercialized experiences, especially with indigenous tribal villages. It does nothing do to help and support the community. It's very commercialized. You're there for an hour. It's more of a demonstration. Ours, we are fully immersing you into these real tribal villages for full day experiences. They are completely private. There's 2 separate tribes that we specialize in. I know Julie's been to both. The one on the left, the top and the bottom on the left, is called the Maasai tribe. They are one of the most well-recognizable tribes of all of Africa. They are known for their herding. They live in the open savannas. They're all about their livestock. While the 2 pictures on the far right is called the Mijikenda tribe. They are more of a spiritual tribe. They're referred to as the tree people. They live near the coast. They're all about natural herbs and remedies, holistic lifestyle. fortune telling. And with Julie's itinerary for this group excursion, she wanted to make sure that she still could fit enough in where it gives people all these different variety of experiences, but where it's not too lengthy, where people can actually go on it. So we did not include the coast, so we can include Uganda and the gorilla chimpanzee trekking. So unfortunately, on her group excursion, we will not be taking you to the Mijikenda tribe. However, on the Maasai tribe, the pictures on the left, you'll have a full, completely private experience where you're going to meet and engage with the chief. You're going to dress like villagers for the day. You're going to eat a traditional village lunch with them. You're going to story tell with the tribal elders, learn all their daily tasks and roles, the woman and the warriors, all from the roots of it all. It's truly transformative. It's very immersive and authentic, but most importantly, it's also sustainable. It gives back to the community as well. I'd love to be able to introduce you to both the Maasai and Mijikenda tribes.
People always ask me, what makes SKYIN so special? So unique. So different than the rest. It's the ability of being able to connect our travelers directly to the tribal villages. There's nothing commercialized. There's nothing fake. This is no demonstration. We take you to real live villages where you immerse yourself in every aspect. Meeting with the elders, engaging with the chiefsmen.
Welcome to my Manyata.
Learning the roles of the woman and the warriors of it all. And this is what makes SKYIN so special and so unique.
It's the most enriching experience, and I'm so grateful, and we feel blessed to be here.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
The opportunity that we've had through SKYIN is a gift that money cannot buy. It's from the heart, it's from the soul, and it's because of you.
Now I know
See
Julie.
some faces I recognize.
And I know, Julie, you can attest to this. You know, our tagline is travels that touch the soul. And the reason for that is because, especially when you go into an indigenous tribe, your way of life, you look different, you sound different, you act different. Everything about you is very different to them. But when you walk in there into this village, they make you feel like you're one of them. They look at you deep into your eyes, and they make you feel like you're a part of their culture, part of their family. And that, to me, is what makes Kenya so spectacular, is that you have the opportunity to really immerse yourself in a completely different culture, but yet you feel like they make you feel like you're a part of them. And that's where the transformative aspect comes in. And we have so many clients that come out of that village and they say, wow, I have never experienced anything like this. And I'm going to take parts of what I learned here into my own real life. I'm not expecting you guys to go home. I mean, they live in huts. They don't have running water. They don't have electricity. I mean, it is really roughing it in the indigenous world. And I don't expect you to go home and be able to build a hut in front of your house, but you gain a new perspective. You appreciate, honor, accept things in different ways. And that's what ties our tagline into who we are, travels that touch the soul, because these experiences truly touch your soul and they make you run and they make you appreciate life in such different ways.
Yeah, they're just really the warmest and most welcoming people, so open to share, excited to include you in their customs and their traditions and their ideology. Some of it's something that sometimes it's nothing that we can really relate to, but they're so proud and so open and really, really inclusive. Pretty much every single person every single person said it was one of the highlights, just one of the most rewarding experiences. So I can't wait to see them again.
And just know, this is not a village that I just sell, and this is the village I grew up in. So they're family to me. So when I say this is a personal type of venture that I'm offering, it's because of my upbringing with this community and how we designed it together. Now, what's really unique is back in October of 2023, my company hit a really big milestone, and our immersive cultural experiences with the tribes got elected and awarded into the Kenya Tourism Board Signature Experience Collection. It's a very prestigious collection based in Kenya. It truly defines authenticity, sustainability, and transformation. It took over a year and a half of an audit, but it's because we truly provide such a unique, enriching experience. The next thing that we also specialize in, we are not going to offer this necessarily on Julie's group excursion, but we specialize in highly vetted in Nairobi homestays, where you have the opportunity to not just stay in a hotel while you're in Nairobi, but you can come stay with a loving local host family that's highly vetted, speaks fluent English, go through high amounts of internal comprehensive training, and also background and screen it through the government as well. Those type of travelers that truly love a real cultural encounter, that wants to come to a household, get in the kitchen with them, learn about their family traditions, learn about their family recipes. It's such a unique experience. Here's a quick video introducing some of our local host families.
Jambo.
We are the
Muhindi family.
We welcome you to Kenya
through SKYIN Adventures to enjoy our beautiful country, our hospitality, and our warmth.
Hope to see you soon.
When these guests come to our homes, they are able to learn more about our country, our weather, our culture, even our type of food.
When guests come to your home, they become part of your family.
I take that back, Julie. We are doing a host family luncheon, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're not doing overnight at our homestays. So you guys will be spending, when you're in the capital state of Nairobi, you will be staying at a hotel. However, we have designated one afternoon to be able to come to one of our host families' homes, and we're going to do a host family luncheon. So you get to be able to spend some time. We will invite some multiple host families over, so you guys can engage. You guys can discuss amongst them, learn about them, and obviously share some really authentic home cooked cuisine.
Mama Joy still texts me every couple months.
Yeah.
She's the best.
These are just some examples of what our homestays look like. Again, all our homestays provide comfortable private bedrooms, bathrooms, hot water showers, electricity, and very safe, secured, monitored neighborhoods. While in Nairobi, we also offer such a variety of different hotels. The top right photo right here is actually the exact hotel you will be staying at while you're in Nairobi. And then last but not least, what Kenya also, a lot of people don't realize this, and this is particular in Kenya because Uganda is not on the coast, but Kenya is very well known for its exotic beaches. Pristine white sand, fluffy sand beaches with turquoise warm waters along the Indian coast. If you guys were to create your custom itinerary, we would offer the opportunity to take you guys to the coast. We offer some really cool excursions as well. One of our tribes is near the coast. We offer an authentic sailing excursion, dolphin sighting, scuba diving, snorkeling on these traditional dhow boats. And then, of course, being able to have some relaxation, being able to spend them at beautiful beachfront resorts along the water. At SKYIN, both Kenya and Uganda, you guys will be in a company vehicle with our company drivers and guides, so they will always be marked SKYIN. So rest assured, you're not going to be in public means whatsoever. Your safety, security is high priority for us, and one way to ensure that is to make sure that you're always with our own company vehicles and drivers represented as a guide throughout your entire experience throughout Kenya and Uganda. Another unique thing that makes us really unique, stand out and unique, is that prior to departure, 1 month prior, we're going to set up a pre-travel video call. It'll have the entire group, of course, Julie, myself, and then my on-the-ground operations team. We believe that the journey does not start once you get to Kenya or Uganda. It starts by preparing you for it. So in advance, we're going to send you a pre-travel guide that has a pre-travel recommendations, packing list, cultural tips. You are required to fill out an ETA, which is electronic travel authorization. It's like an e-visa for Kenya, as well as a visa for Uganda. We'll send you instructions on how to fill that out. And then again, 1 month prior to departure, we will set up a pre-travel video call where me and my team really help prepare you guys. We thoroughly walk through the itinerary. We set expectations. We help answer any questions. We're also going to be available. Myself is available from now all the way until you guys get back from your excursion in Kenya, because again, this is a personal venture for me. SKYIN is my dream. It's my passion. It's my calling. It's who I am, and it's what I like to be able to present to other travelers. And we understand that I look at it as 3 pillars. One is that going to Africa is a investment. It's not necessarily your cheap, all-inclusive going to Mexico. Two, it's your lives in our hands. We understand that, going to Africa, it's an unknown territory. We got to make sure that you guys have full trust in ourselves to be able to provide you the most amazing, safest, and comfortable type of journey. But most importantly, three, this is a bucket list dream for 9.9 out of 10 people I ever meet. And I want to rest assured that you have our personal attention to make sure that we provide you the ultimate experience to give you guys what Kenya, Uganda has to offer. And again, to me, what makes it up is not just the culture, the wildlife, the beaches, but it's the people, the hospitality. Last but not least, I get this common question. What does SKYIN mean? Yeah, Skylar, my name, SKYIN, there's some resemblance, but SKYIN is actually a definition. To sky in. It's a verb, to sky in. For example, just like you were to say to dive in. If you were to dive into a pool, you're breaking the conventional barrier and you're diving deep under. When you sky into Kenya, you're breaking the conventional surface of a typical tourist and you're skying deep into the foundation of what makes Kenya and Uganda so spectacular and so magical.
I think it might be frozen, Skylar.
Oh, it's frozen?
Oh, there it goes. Okay. No, it's gone now.
Now that wraps up our virtual journey. I think the next step that we would like to do is kind of walk you guys through the itineraries real quick, just to kind of give you a little skim of what each day looks like, and then certainly open up to Q&A right after that. 1 second.
I will just say, one of the reasons why I keep working with Skylar, and also one of the pieces of feedback that I hear from my travelers is they really appreciate the cultural aspect. They really appreciate the opportunity to dive beneath the surface and understand a people, a place, go deeper than, I guess, the, surface skimming of this is pretty for the pictures and that's about it. We want to make sure that you know Kenya. We want to make sure that you feel the heartbeat. And this is something that people say about my trips, and they see this as something that is important to me. And you've probably seen it in my content, is that I want to know a place and I want to know a people, and I want to have a deeper experience. So this is one of the things that I'm really pleased that you offer, Skylar. And then the other couple things that really sets us apart is, one, we are there for you from even before you book, but the second you book to through the trip. So that's not just like you book it and you're on your own to figure things out. We walk you through every step of the planning and preparation process so that you feel totally ready, totally prepared, and you feel really confident when you get to Kenya that everything as it should be, that you know how to be ready. You have all the things that you need. You're set up with your cellular. You're set up with your currency. You're ready to go, because we want to make sure you're really comfortable, and that means you can enjoy. You're not worried about any logistics. You can enjoy every single moment as it comes. And then the other thing that people experience with my groups is that the socialization. Sure, you can book this trip on your own, and I'm happy to help you do that. You and your family, you and your friends. But one of the things that really adds a lot to my groups is bringing multiple people together from different places, sometimes around the world, but mostly in North America. And it's the friendship aspect. It's the socialization aspect. You get to meet other people. You get to share these moments and memories. And that happens before you show up. I arrange a lot. There's a group chat. There's group emails, there's group Zooms where we all get to know each other so that when we get to Kenya, you know who you're going to eat dinner with, you know who you're sitting in the van with, you know who is going to borrow you their binoculars while you take photos. And we all are a team and we help each other out. And that is something really, really special because I've seen some lifelong friendships happen and I've really met some awesome people. So I'm really, I'm a nomad. I don't get to see friends and family back home very often. I like to bring friends to me. So I'm really excited to invite everyone to come travel with me because then I have an opportunity to make friends and expand on my friendships around the world, wherever I am, seeing and doing cool things. So I know some of you have been traveling or following me for a while, and I really hope this destination piques your interest, this itinerary piques your interest, because I'd love to have you join my traveling tribe. You may proceed, Skylar.
And I second all that. So absolutely. I mean, there's pros and cons of traveling with the group, but you make friendships along the way. And honestly, those are some of the memories that last forever. And I remember with Julie, she was telling me how she's still in close contact communication with some of the travelers from your last group that you never even met before you got to Kenya. And now you guys become best friends. I mean, that's why this is not just a tour. You will never hear me say, hey, come on this trip, come on this vacation, come on this tour. We specialize in immersive journeys because we take you far off that beaten path to really show you more than just what a sightseeing tour has to offer. So real quick, here is our adventure guide. I know Julie will be able to send you guys a digital copy. I'm not going to take the time to read through everything right now, but this really does walk you through our company, who we are, the genesis, everything like that, getting into accommodations, etc. Transportation. Now let's get to the itinerary section. Right here. So here is the immersive cultural and wildlife journey for Julie's group excursion taking place from May 7th through the 15th, 2027. Now, I also want to highlight that there are going to be single occupancies. There's very, very limited, okay? So if you know you want to have a single room, there is a single room supplement, but just know there's very limits on how many rooms that we have booked already. Please know that if you guys are a couple, of course, we can honor you guys your own room to 2 people in 1 room with 1 bed. However, if you want to go with a sibling, a friend, somebody that you're not cool sharing a bed with, no problem. We can always accommodate 2 beds in 1 room for every single property you'll be staying at. I don't want that to be a hinder to be like, oh, I don't want to share a bed. I don't want to go on this. We can always offer 2 beds. So on May 7th is the arrival date. Our team will be right outside those airport doors to meet and greet you guys. We'll escort you directly to your hotel for overnight stay. Some people do like to arrive a day early. That would be on May 6th for multiple reasons. One is get there a little early so you can have some time to unwind, get rid of jet lag. And 2, nowadays we all know that travel can be a little complex and flights can be delayed or anything like that. So arriving a day early might be an option. If that is for you, no problem. We can certainly help with booking your hotel, your pre-night. We'll take care of your transportation. Again, everything in destination, we will take care of for you. So if you guys wanted to arrive a few days before, we could help with all the logistics and reservations prior to that. So May 7th, again, overnight at Saroba Pan-Africa Hotel. On May 8th, I mean, who does not want to start off a Kenyan excursion by visiting a baby elephant orphanage? So on this day, you're going to visit a baby elephant orphanage, the Giraffe Center. You'll have lunch at one of the most iconic restaurants of all of Nairobi. It's called a Carnivore Restaurant. And then you'll be able to spend some time at some local markets and then back overnight stay at Saroba Pan-Africa Hotel in Nairobi. Day 3, on May 9th, you are then going to head to our Maasai village, the full day experience. You will be packed up when you leave Nairobi, go to the Maasai, and then directly from the Maasai, you're going to go straight to Amboseli National Park. What makes Amboseli so spectacular, it's home to Mount Kilimanjaro, the tallest freestanding snow-capped peak, mountain of all of Africa. And when you're in Amboseli National Park, it gives you the best view of Mount Kilimanjaro directly from your property, to be honest. And here's a picture right here. So you'll get there, you'll overnight in Amboseli. On day 4, May 10th, you're going to have a full day in Amboseli National Park with morning and afternoon game drives. The game drives means you are in the Land Cruiser. You're out for about 2.5 to 3 hours looking for animals. Of course, it takes a lot of skills, takes a lot of guidance, and that's what our guides do the best at, making sure they know how to trek the animals. They're very knowledgeable about their landscapes, their habitat, everything like that, but they are the best ones to be able to get you up close and center to be able to spot those exotic animals that you've been dreaming of seeing. You'll have a second night in Amboseli National Park at Old Takai Lodge. On day 5, May 11th, you are then going to part from Amboseli and you're going to drive straight to Lake Naivasha. Once you get to Lake Naivasha, you'll arrive at your lodge just in time for lunch, and then you're going to go out for a boat ride along Crescent Island. What's really cool is these long canoes. They fit about 8 people. They have a guide. They have a motor. They take you along the waters of Crescent Island of Lake Naivasha. What's really unique is that Lake Naivasha is home to hundreds and hundreds of species of birds. They're also known for its hippo families, amount of hippo population. And then we're going to take you along Crescent Island. Crescent Island is very iconic because the movie Out of Africa by Karen Blixen was filmed along Crescent Island. So it's a very iconic area to be able to visit. From that point on, we are then going to take you to your property in Lake Naivasha called Lake Naivasha Sopa Lodge. What's really cool about this property, you're going to see wildlife directly from the comfort of your lodge. So you literally can just be there for hours and you're going to see giraffes, zebras, water bucks, hippos directly from your lodge. It's a really cool experience. On day 6, we are then going to do a day trip to Lake Nakuru National Park. What's really cool about Lake Nakuru is that it gives you the best chances to spot the black and white rhinos, flamingos, other herbivores and carnivores, and such a variety of different species of birds as well. After Lake Nakuru, you are going to come back to the shores of Lake Naivasha for a second night at Lake Naivasha Sopa Lodge. On day 7, we are then going to drive and head to Maasai Mara National Reserve. That's the jewel of Kenya. That's this painting right behind me. This painting over there, that's Amboseli, where you can see Mount Kilimanjaro. Maasai Mara is one of the greatest places. This is my opinion, but most people say the same thing. One of the most magical places on this entire planet. And it's because of how much wildlife live within the same ecosystem. I just got back from Kenya a couple weeks ago, and I was with a group of agents. And we were sitting in the vehicle, and we looked out front, and somebody said, let's count how many species of animals we can see in front of us. We counted 12 different species. I'm not talking about 12, like all of the similar type. We're talking about giraffes, elephants. We saw a hyena in the distance. We saw a jackal. We saw, you name it, we saw Cape buffalo, wildebeest, zebras, all within the facility of what our eyes can see in front of us.
Lion King. It's just like Lion King.
Just like the Lion King.
Living in harmony.
Exactly. Exactly. When I say exactly,
the circle of life.
Circle of life. So just know that. Yeah. But by the time you get to Maasai Mara, you're going to arrive just in time for lunch. What's really cool is that in Amboseli, Lake Naivasha, you're going to stay at safari lodges. While you're in Maasai Mara, you're going to stay at a safari tented camp. So it's like the ultimate glamping experience. You have these tented camps. You could hear trust me, they're just like rooms where you have your own private bedroom, bathroom, showers, hot water showers, electricity, but you can hear the animals at night. You can see all the stars above you. It's that ultimate glamping experience. And you're going to spend 2 nights at that safari camp. On day 8, May 14th, we're going to, this is for people that are up for it. You're going to wake up at the crack of dawn, before the crack of dawn. You're going to be leaving your property around 4:35 a.m. You're going to head to the launching site, and you're going to go for your sunrise hot air balloon safari. You're going to be gliding over the savannas for about an hour, looking for animals. The guides are very well knowledgeable, trained pilots, and then you're going to touch down with a very luxurious champagne bush breakfast. As I mentioned, if you guys are not scared of heights and you guys can afford it, I highly, highly recommend doing it. It's usually one of the top experiences that everybody loves as well. From after the hot air balloon, and please note that not everybody has to do it. Even if it's like you're going with your wife, for example, and your wife wants to do it, but you don't want to do it at all, it's no problem whatsoever. It does not take away from the experience. It just adds it more. You're just going to wake up earlier to go do it, if that makes sense. Completely optional. After the hot air balloon safari, you will go on morning and afternoon game drives for the full day, looking for the animals. Come back to your safari camp for dinner and overnight stay. Day 9, May 15th, you are then going to depart Maasai Mara. You're going to drive back to Nairobi. Once you guys get to Nairobi, you guys will visit one of our host families for a host family luncheon. Spend a couple hours just gathering with a couple of our host families, learning about their traditions, have a very home-cooked family home-cooked meal. And then after that, depending on if you guys are going to continue on to a Uganda, we are going to take you to a airport hotel nearby, right down the street from the airport. If you guys are wanting to fly out that evening, we will take you directly to the airport. So again, Uganda, we're going to host you one more night in Nairobi, and then the following day, you're going to depart and head to Entebbe. If you're going to go straight home, then you would fly straight home that evening. Most flights international flights are in the evening coming back to the States. So if you see a 10, 11 p.m., even a midnight flight, that's very, very common. It is very safe. We can rest assured you will get to the airport checked in with our team by your side every step of the way. Here's a map of where you guys are going to be. So you guys will be below the equator. Kenya is a very safe country. It's level 2 on the travel advisory board. The only parts they suggest staying away is the northern borders, but you are going to be very, very far anywhere near the northern borders. You guys will be below the equator the entire time. You're going to see here's Nairobi. This is where Amboseli National Park is, where Mount Kilimanjaro is. Here's the Great Rift Lakes. That's where Lake Naivasha and Lake Nakuru is. And then Maasai Mara National Reserve. And then you'll come back to Nairobi here on. Here's all the pricing includes, excludes. And then here are the travel dates, May 15th to the 27th. Again, you don't need to write this down. I know Julie can send you guys all this information afterwards. Here's what the double occupancy rate is. That is per person, okay? So again, if you're going with you and your wife, each person will be paying $51.99. If you are going to a single room, you have to do $51.99 plus $500, so it'd be $56.99, and that's the single room supplement. Julie, we only have a certain amount of rooms blocked and reserved, okay? This
First come, first serve.
First come, first serve. She is very gracious enough that she's offering an early bird special. You pretty much have one more month. That saves $400 off per person. Richie, I see you there. I believe that's your wife right next to you. If you and your wife go, you guys will save $800 if you book before January 1st, okay? How it works with payments is that we do require a non-refundable 30% deposit, and then the remaining balance is due 90 days prior. Now, if you guys aren't well travelers, I know a common question is going to be like, okay, this is May of 2027. That's a year and a half from now. I don't even know what tomorrow is going to look like. That's why you purchase travel insurance. You purchase travel insurance. I know, Julie, you could probably help with this as well. And then they will literally cover in case you guys get sick, in case something happens, in case there's a death in your family, for good reasons that you cannot make your trip. Then they will credit back any money that is lost or forfeited from the tour, when I say the tour, that's what they call it, a tour pricing, as well as your flights as well. So rest assured, I know that a year and a half from now seems like it's far. It's going to go by quickly, as you guys can imagine. I mean, Julie, you were in Kenya literally almost a year ago, which is crazy, blows my mind. But please know travel insurance will help the unforeseen and help give you that peace of mind that your money, any deposit that's lost, you will make sure you get that back if you purchase travel insurance. So we highly do recommend it. Okay.
Yeah, Julie, and I can help with that.
Absolutely. Julie will be your main point of contact, guys. She's your agent. Again, if you guys are looking to even do a private custom excursion as well, she's your go-to person. Everything needs to go directly through Julie as well. Now that's Kenya, okay? And you're going to see on Kenya, it ends on May 15th. Now here is Uganda. As you guys can see, it starts on May 16th. So May 15th, again, if you're going to do Uganda, you're going to spend the night at an airport, Nairobi Airport Hotel. That's right nearby. That morning on May 16th, right after breakfast, you are then going to head straight to the airport. You're going to you're going to take a flight. Well, you're probably going to actually leave a little earlier than breakfast. You'll probably leave your flight's probably going to be around 7:30 in the morning. You will then fly directly from Nairobi to Entebbe. It's only an hour and about 15-minute flight. Once you guys do get to Entebbe, you're going to be meet and greet by our team directly out of Entebbe International Airport, and then you're going to depart and go on a drive straight to Kibale National Park. We're going to head you to Kibale. This is where you guys are going to do the chimpanzee trekking. Once you guys get to Kibale, you'll get there right around lunchtime. You'll check into your property, have lunch, and then the rest of the day is at leisure. There are some activities that you guys can book while you're there if you're up for it. A Bogoti wetland walk. There's other different activities you guys can do nearby that you guys can book directly through the property that can certainly help assist with that. Day 11, May 17th, you are going to wake up in the morning, head straight to the registration of Uganda Wildlife Authority Ranger Station, and then you are going to start your chimpanzee trek. The chimpanzee trek can last from anywhere to 5 hours. You guys are going to be on foot. It is a tropical rainforest. It's a really, really unique experience. If you guys ever seen the movie Tarzan, that's what it looks like. A lush, thick jungle. I see Rich.
So Lion King and Tarzan.
Lion King and Tarzan, all to life. I mean, who doesn't want that? Two of some of the most iconic movies ever. But when I bring up Tarzan, I bring up like the greenery. I bring up the unknowns, the lush green, the vines, the sounds, the big rainforest elephant footprints you're going to see along the way. I know it sounds a little intimidating. You will be with highly trained guides that are part of the national park, as well as armed rangers. Okay, they're there for your safety. They're not there to hurt or harm the animals. They're very big about the conservation, but they're there in case anything does come close. What they use the guns for is to shoot up in the air to scare off the animals, not directly at the animals. Okay, I highlight that because I know some people are very much protective of the animals, and that's exactly what this is. They do as everything they can to be able to support and protect the species of the animals there. After you guys are done with your chimpanzee trek, you guys are going to have a packed picnic lunch, and you're going to eat it along the way. We're going to drive you to Queen Elizabeth National Park. You guys are going to then go on a Kazinga boat channel safari. This is an incredible experience, one of the best safaris ever, in my opinion. You go on this boat, unlike the one on Lake Navajo, it's like a long canoe. This is like a bigger boat. You're on a boat for about an hour, and they go up and down the channel, and you see all these wildlife coming to the river, to the channel to drink. I mean, I saw elephants, lions, Cape buffalo, zebras. You see so much wildlife coming to the riverbanks. Such a cool experience. After the Kazinga Boat Channel, you will then have dinner and overnight in Queen Elizabeth National Park. Sorry, 1 second. There we go. Okay. The following day on May 18th, you guys are then going to start you're going to have breakfast and then do a morning game drive within Queen Elizabeth National Park. After your game drive, you're going to come back to your lodge for lunch, and then you're going to head to Bwindi and Penchable National Park. That's really high up in the altitude. That's where the gorillas live. And on the way, we're going to pass by a certain sector of Queen Elizabeth called the Ashasha sector, and that gives you the best chances to spot the climbing lion. So in this area, in this region, it's very rare to see lions in the trees, but they have these particular trees that the lions are really accustomed to climbing up. And so it's very well known to spot the climbing lions while you're in this area, while you drive to Bwindi and Penchable National Park. Once you guys get to Bwindi, you guys are going to then check into your property and have the rest of the day at leisure to rest up, because the next day is going to be a big day. Day 13, May 19th, you are then going to start your gorilla trek. This can last anywhere from 3 to 6 hours, just depending on where the gorillas are. Again, you're going to be with well-trained guides as well as armed rangers, and it's such a unique experience. And when you're both with the gorillas and chimps, once you do find them, sometimes you do find them in the trees. Once they're in the trees and they come down, the second they touch down on the ground, the guides time it, and you have exactly 1 hour to spend with the gorillas and with the chimps, if that makes sense. They're very big about you can't eat, you can't drink water, you have to very limited amount of speaking. They only allow a certain amount of people per, usually anywhere from 6 to 8 people per family of gorillas. They really control the footstep and the footprints that's coming in and out on a daily basis. And that's a big part of making sure that, again, they're very big about protecting the conservation of the animals and of its habitats as well. After the gorilla trek, you will then go back to your property for lunch, and then the rest of the day at leisure. And there is another tribe called the Batwa village. I'm going to be honest, it's not necessarily as in-depth as the one we own and operate with the Maasai in Kenya, but it is a very unique cultural experience with a completely different tribe called the Batwa tribe that's home, and they're known to be in the highlands of the Bwindi and Penchable National Park, referred to as the Tree People. And then overnight stay. On day 14, May 20th, you guys are going to, after breakfast, you're going to get transferred to the local airstrip, and you are going to fly from the local airstrip back to Entebbe. The reason for this is because when you guys, as you're driving from Entebbe, you're going to go to Kabale, Queen Elizabeth, Bwindi. It's kind of a circuit. But then driving back from Bwindi straight to Entebbe, that's about a 9-hour drive, and that's a little too much, I believe. So we are going to fly you back to Entebbe. Once you touch down in Entebbe, you will then proceed onwards to your connecting international flight. Here are some past testimonials from not just clients of ours, but from Julie's group. And then it has a Q&A at the end as well that you guys can read through.
So this departure guide is linked on my itinerary page. You might just have to do a control F if you didn't find the link, just search for adventure guide, but it's in there. You can download it, you can forward it, you can print it, you can do whatever you want, but it does have tons of information. So I thoroughly suggest you review it for all the details. But also we want to open up this time if you have any questions, if anything wasn't clear, or you can put it in the chat. You can unmute yourself and say the words, but this is your time to kind of get whatever clarification you would like.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hey, Joanne.
Okay. Hi. Is there a minimum number of people for this tour?
There is not. I take that back. With the pricing that we're able to get you, we're as long as we get 4 or more, there will be no price difference whatsoever. If we do get less, we will still run it. There will just be a minor supplement to outweigh the cost, but 4 or more is kind of the goal. But please know that if we do only get 2 people, we will still 100% run it. There just will be a little bit of additional cost. Not major, but there will be a supplement to outweigh for the additional people.
And then can I ask one more thing? Why is the single supplement so much higher in Uganda than it is in Kenya?
It's just Uganda is just how it is. The properties are a lot smaller. That's why. That's the biggest reason why. In Kenya, some of these properties you'll be staying at might have 50 to 80 rooms or tents, while Uganda it might be 10 to 20 total. So they have very limited amount of rooms, and they take it as, hey, if you're doing a single, you're taking the opportunity of 2 people paying for 1 room, and you're taking that away for just 1 person. So they have to have some sort of supplement to outweigh that cost, if that makes sense. So
and then if you don't pay that single supplement, but there's no one to match you with, then you're just putting your own anyway.
So what we'll do is if you are open to rooming with someone, then like we have to see, I guess, how the room shake or the trip shakes out. We have a year and a half, so feeling pretty confident that we'll get a good amount of people sign up for the trip since I had 10 last time. As if people say that, hey, we want to share, we want to save on that single supplement, then we'll pair people up together. If you don't find anyone, or if nobody wants to share, then unfortunately you have to kind of accept I might have to pay that single supplement.
And what we typically do, Joanne, is that if you are a solo traveler right now, you don't have another companion quite yet, we do require you to pay that single, because again, we only have a certain amount of single rooms the entire trip, right? And so if you don't book a single and you may end up being a single and there's not availability, there will be, we will have to add a supplement onwards to the additional. So what we always do is if you're going to be a solo traveler, as of right now, pay the single supplement. However, if you end up getting somebody else to join you, or we find someone else within the group that willing to pair up, we will credit back that single supplement to your remaining balance. So you will not be at loss. You will not be forfeited. Just know that you will be able to, we do suggest booking as a solo traveler, because then you're as a single traveler, because then you're guaranteed to have that single room. But then again, somebody else comes and join you, we will make sure 100% of that single supplement rate is credited back, so you're not going to be at loss.
And what is the weather apt to be like?
Yeah, so it is going to be considered more their rainy season. It's scattered storms. It's not raining all day, every day. There's pros and cons of going in May. May, it's the cheapest. I mean, it's one of the cheapest months to be able to travel to, and it's less busy, less crowded, which I personally love. You have such a more intimate experience at the properties. When you're seeing lions, you're not seeing 40 cars surrounding them. Again, it's more of an intimate experience. Now it is the rainy season, but it's more scattered, usually in the later afternoons or evenings, and then by the daytime, it's usually gone by then. So I travel very frequently with groups in April and May, which is the 2 months for the rainy season. And I constantly get people that tell me all the time, this is the rainy season. I don't know that it's not like you would find in the Northwest where it just rains all day, every day throughout the rainy season. It's scattered storms. It provides a very more greener, luscious type of environment. A lot of the babies are being born in February-ish time. So you do see a lot of, I call it the toddler season. You see a lot of the babies, but they're a little bit grown from the toddlers. And again, the biggest plus to me is the pricing is, I mean, did this in July, you can easily add on $1,000 more per person, easily per itinerary, if that makes sense. So it's a lot less crowded. The international flights are a lot cheaper going in April and May compared to going June, July, because that's when summer is and that's when a lot of people travel. So pros and cons, of course, you might have to deal with a little bit more rainier than you would in like the drier season, but I can rest assured it's not just storms all day, every day. Again, I can't control the weather, but I've been to both destinations multiple times throughout. I've been to Uganda multiple times, but Kenya, I grew up out there during this time, and I always bring agents out there in the springtime, and they always say the same thing. I can't believe this is considered the rainy season because again, it's more scattered storms.
Just the fact that it's not totally overrun by safari vehicles, like
Yes.
it pays for itself because that really does impact your experience having to dodge and duck and trying to scoot around people and oh well someone else is coming so we got to give them a turn and like I've seen it really messy. I've been on a lot of safaris around the world and I've seen it in busy seasons in different countries and you're just wrestling to get a shot, to get a moment and to be able to have a little bit extra time to like appreciate what you're seeing is better than the alternative, like for real. And a lot of my travelers said that before. The first during my first trip is we're really glad we didn't come in the busy season because we can't imagine having to deal with crowds and to deal with other vehicles. So this is something that I really want that I like. I like traveling in the shoulder season and I plan a lot of my trips during the shoulder seasons because I want the experience to be the best for my travelers.
And if this means anything, I would make more money selling the high season, and I always advocate don't go in the high season. It's so crowded. It's so much busier. Prices are so much higher. Availability becomes so much more limited. All these properties that we're proposing are our top rated properties, deluxe properties that we highly, highly recommend. So these are all going to be great properties that you guys are all going to enjoy that we know that we vetted ourselves. But I rest assured, yes, you might get a little bit more rain, but there's so many more benefits and pros of traveling the lower season than the higher season.
That was one of my questions actually, is how many tour groups would we expect to see in these parks? Like, is it going to be really busy or like what would the anticipation be at this time of year?
I mean, April and May are the two lowest months. That's the lowest time, lowest footprint, lowest traffic. I mean, I can't predict because every national park is different where you're at. I mean, there might be times you're driving, you might not see a single vehicle for hours. But there might be times when you're in the Maasai Mara because there's more properties around that those properties have clients. And let's just say this. Typically in the low season, they're usually at 30 to 40% capacity is the properties. I think that would be a better answer for you. You go in the high season, 80 to 100% in the entire time. So
the more intimate time with the animals.
Yes, absolutely.
And then I have another question. Sorry if I'm monopolizing this.
Oh, these are questions everybody wants to know. So.
Are the gorillas and chimpanzees, like, are they comfortable around people? Like, how close are you actually getting to them?
So how they work, and you're pretty close, but how it is that the guides you're with, okay, you're gonna have our own guide that's gonna drive. I mean, our guides in Kenya are gonna be your guides the entire time. They're driving you, they're directing you, they're the guides. In Uganda, our guides will get you. I mean, when you're on safari in Queen Elizabeth, they'll be your guides. When you get to Burundi, they're going to drive you to it, and then the parks have their own designated guides only for that area. Okay. Now the chimps and the gorillas are like humans. They have moods like you and I do. They can tell and they can sense when a gorilla, for example, is calm, relaxed, and they can tell when it's starting to get stressed because they will give off certain signals. Now you can get close relatively. Again, you have to you can't have anything in your hands. You can't drink water. You can't eat food. You have to be quiet. They do such great ability of keeping, the conservation at the highest, most respect, if that makes sense. But they sense the mood. So you can get relatively close. I mean, I'm not going to, I was about 5 feet away from the silverback and you're just sitting there, you're still. And you also have to show submission. So if they start getting close to you, I mean, there's times, if you ever seen videos, you have to put your head down to show that they are dominant to you, to the silverback, right? Because of such human traits they have. But the guides sense that they're starting to get overwhelmed and stressed and tense. And before you even start the trek, you have to go through about a 45-minute presentation that the guides are up there talking to you, telling you kind of what to do, guiding you in advance. It's a whole debrief far before you even start the trek. For both the gorillas and the chimps, because they're two different areas of Uganda. That's why Kibale is where you see the chimps. It's a little bit lower ground. The gorillas are in Burundi, and that's higher ground. Completely different guides, everything like that. but they know how to read them. So if they do sense you, again, you go through debriefs and training before. If they do sense they're getting a little bit overwhelmed, they will literally tell you, kind of kindly back up. They'll direct you where to go, and that's what they're there for. And then again, you are with armed rangers. The rangers are not there to point guns at the animals or yourselves, by all means, but they're there to protect you in case it does get close and there is a close circumstance. They shoot up in the air, and then it does scare things off, by all means. So it is, I mean, it does sound kind of wild that you're that close on foot, but I promise you the conservation they do to protect the animals is most important for them. I mean, of course, your safety too, by all means, but they do such an incredible job. So you are having that true intimate experience. When it comes to Uganda, though, so this is another thing I wanted to bring up. So Kenya, just so you guys know, Kenya, we have all the rooms reserved, locked, everything is booked, okay? With Uganda, it's a little different, okay? Because with Uganda, the properties are so much smaller, and you only have a certain amount of gorilla permits that you can book per day, if that makes sense. With one in Bwindi, where you're taking you to, there's only 6 families of gorillas, okay? Each family of gorilla will only allow up to 8 people per family of gorilla, okay? That's such a small amount. What, 8 times 6 is what, 42, right? Small amount, okay? So please know that Kenya, everything is booked. With Uganda, though, we first have to get a head count of how many people are wanting to do Uganda. And then from that point on, we are then going to go ahead and book everything, because once we book your accommodation, we have to pay for the gorilla permit right then and there. They have to go side by side. You book the accommodation, and then you have it booked, but you don't book the gorilla permits right away. Well, what if the gorilla permits run out of that area? Then you're out of luck, if that makes sense. So we have to do side by side. So rest assured that pricing you see is pretty much spot on. It might give or take, not by much. I promise you, it might be cheaper, let's say $200-300, or it might be a little bit more, $200-300, not by much whatsoever. It's a good price that that would be the set price on properties we want to propose, but it is subject to availability, of course. So once
so we're getting ahead of this early.
Yeah, so that's why we're getting ahead of this early, because again, there's different sectors of Bwindi, for example. There's the northern, central, southern. And so if we see that, hey, these area does have gorilla permits are all sold out, we will take you to another sector, if that makes sense. And that's where then so just know that the pricing for Uganda can vary very small amount. I promise you that. But it is subject to availability. So we're doing this ahead of time so we can get the final head count, and then we can go ahead and book Uganda right away.
Julie, this trip, have you done both of these trips?
I've just done Kenya, so Uganda will be new for me, and that's one of the things I wanted to I choose places that I want to go, not just because I've been there before, but because they sound really cool, and love the work that Skylar did in Kenya. So I know obviously he's gonna knock it out of the park in Uganda. And it's also seems a really natural transition to doing 9 days in Kenya for the folks that only get 9 days off or only want to spend a certain amount, and then we add on a little optional excursion for the rest of us who want to do Uganda, which is me included. So it'll be my first time in Uganda.
So are you both on the safari? Would you be on the Kenya one? And you're mentioning the Uganda one, Julie. But Skylar, are you on the safari?
I will not be there, no. But I have an incredible team, and they will be with you all the way through. So I can't go in all the groups. If I did, I would be living in Kenya 24/7 at this point. I will not be there. I will be checking in very, very on a daily basis, frequently. Julie will be there for both, and then my team will be side by side with you guys both along the way as well.
So will you even be in country or no?
I don't know where I will be at that time, but I can rest assured that I promise you will be in great hands. Another thing, guys, if after this call, I do encourage you guys to be able to go to our website. On our website, we do have our Google review page hooked up to our website, and we are very blessed over the years. We have never had anything less than a 5-star review. And people literally, the last review was written 2 days ago. So I do believe that do your due diligence. I mean, it helps that Julie has been with our company, been with our team. She brought a group of 10 people, not just herself. She brought a whole group before. Everybody gave 5-star ratings. Obviously, she would be back in this, here to do another group excursion. Uganda is relatively newer. So we just opened up Uganda for operations 4 months ago. If that makes sense. So when you go to our website, that's why on the presentation, we're still updating and revamping our website and our marketing materials and all that as well. That's why you don't see too much Uganda. We have had a handful of groups already, and everything is run flawlessly. If you guys need, Julie, if you need some people that have done Uganda with us already, I'm more than happy to send referrals your way too. But I can rest assured, if you look up our company, read our reviews, you can rest assured the same type of experience that they gotten, you're going to get the same thing in Uganda as well. I made sure before I open up a new destination, we have to make sure that proof is in the pudding. Yep. I walk before I run. So I took my time, 7 years, to be able to grow Kenya, and now we're opening up all our operations in Uganda as well.
What's the elevation at where the gorillas would be?
Ooh, I know Nairobi's a little over a mile high. That's a great question. I don't know off my top of my head, but give me 1 second.
I'm Googling it too.
That's a great question.
It says 3,800 to 8,500 feet above sea level.
Feet or kilometers?
Yeah, feet. So between like 3.8 and 8.5K feet above sea level. So I guess depending on, if we're not hiking up from the, to the top of the mountain, but we're going to be probably in the valleys, so to speak. So maybe between maybe around 4 or something, maybe around 4 to 5.
I would say usually around 4 to 6, anywhere in between
4
that.
to 6,000.
It's like a mountain, right? It's a huge hill. So they're hiking from the bottom to the top, that's what the fluctuate. And just so you guys know, Kenya, there's not a lot of physical activity whatsoever. The only bit is just kind of walking, especially like when you're in the Maasai village. There's quite a walking. It's not high slopes or hills, and we will make sure that we have representatives by your side with a chair. So if you guys need to stop and rest for a minute, we'll have people with chairs. So Kenya, there's not a lot of physical activity. Uganda, there is. So just know that there is the chimps, there is the gorilla trekking. We've had people there that I've seen people doing in their 70s. I've seen somebody doing their early 80s. But you do have to be in somewhat okay shape. You don't have to be a physical marathon runner, but as long as you guys can do okay type of, trekking, you're not climbing a 14er. I promise you that. Okay. So, but you are going to be in hiking boots. You are going to be trekking. They will give you a walking stick to be able to walk with. But it's a cool experience. And, again, the really cool thing about the Uganda is that, again, you only have 8 people with you, plus the rangers and plus the guides, right? So it's really cool because then you're not like with a whole group of 20 people. That's a really intimate experience as well.
Did you say it was 4 to 5 hours, the trek? Is that just
it can
one
be
way?
anywhere? Yeah, it can be anywhere from 3 to 6 hours. That's both ways.
Okay.
So it could take you, like the last time I did the gorilla trek was back in April of this year. I found the family within an hour and 40 minutes, and then you're with them for an hour, and then you come back. There was another group that was beside us during the debrief. They found their gorillas within 35 minutes. So give or take. And it's just dependent on where they are at. This is, you want to see gorillas within 5 minutes, then I encourage you to go to your local zoo.
How many gorillas are in a family?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Can you repeat that?
How many gorillas are in a family?
It could vary. I would say usually anywhere from 8 to 10, typically, is kind of the good average point. There might be some, and there might be a little less, but 8 to 10, depending on the families and how grown the children are or the little babies. But 8 to 8, I'd say 6 to 10 is kind of a good range. The family I saw they had about 6 or 7 on my last trip.
Primates are so interesting and a little scary because their hands move, their hands are so like ours. But I'm gonna go up my comfort zone.
And the other thing I want to highlight, guys, is that I know you guys see some distance driving. There's days that you might drive 4 to 5 hours. It does go by quick. There's a lot of sightseeing along the way. I mean, one thing when I talked to Julie about, hey, there's options to do domestic flights. Two reasons why she didn't want to on certain routes is one, the price. She wants to try to keep the price down. Two, when you fly, you're kind of missing that local environment. You are missing driving through the towns. You're missing the side vendors selling things, and you're missing the donkeys and cows doing the African roadblock that we call it, and someone herding them across the street. So don't be alarmed when you do see longer drives. They do go by quick. There's a lot of sightseeing along the way. There will be rest stops as well. Julie is working really hard to bring a really close-knit group. She did that for her one in January, and that's why she's going to do these Zoom calls. She's going to have these happy hour gatherings far in advance where people can meet each other on Zoom, because when you guys arrive and you already know each other, it really breaks that ice and makes you feel like you're kind of becoming this family and enjoying these experiences together. And we're on track for about 2 to 3 groups of this size on a monthly now, and people just bond together, and it brings you guys closer, and you get to, meet new people along the way. So they do become really fun, and very, very adventurous. And this itinerary is more for the adventurous. I mean, there is luxurious properties and luxurious tidbits that you're going to be having along the way as well, but this is for the adventure. And, and you go to Africa for the adventure. If you guys want to just post up at a resort for 5-7 days, then go to Cabo. But if you guys want to go on an experience, on a journey that's just going to provide you this life-changing experience, you're going to get up close to animals that you've dreamed about doing, that you've seen at the zoo since you were a young boy or girl. I mean, this is a great opportunity, I rest assured. And please, this is when you have a chance, go to our website, read the reviews on what people say that their journey has meant to them, how it's transformed them, how this journey and I'm not saying this to clout, but how it's over exceeded their expectations of what Africa truly is. And that's why we don't just provide you a trip or vacation, but we provide this immersive journey, because it really does, it opens up your senses. You really appreciate and see things in different ways. I mean, even just seeing the gorillas, it allows me to kind of look at things in different ways and how they were and bring it into my own life, So that's why it's such a unique experience. And that's why Africa, they always say it's a once in a lifetime trip. Do you know how many people say that? They come back, they're like, nope, I gotta go again, because it becomes a drug. It becomes addictive. What you see.
You can never safari too much. You can never have too many safaris.
Yeah. And you are going to countries that are very well known. I forgot to mention, they both are English speaking countries. Okay. Kenya, Uganda both speak fluent English. When you go deep into the tribes, like in our Maasai tribe, the elders don't speak good English. So we will have English speaking translators, but English is well spoken because they're British colonies. So that's another plus. If that adds any more value to it, you'll be able to speak to everybody. And when you can't, you'll have translators there to help speak it. So, and please know, guys, if that you guys are off this call and you reach out to your friends, family, whoever that may be, and they're like, oh, you got to join me on this, let Julie know. We are more than happy to do another presentation. We're happy to jump on a call with you. If you guys book, please know that you guys can reach us, email us, contact us, text us, call us any day of the week to make sure that we're still with you guys. It's not just about booking you guys and getting your money. It's about providing the experience. And I can rest assured, if you read the reviews, people say that this company has been with them way before the journey even started, and they feel like they have been well taken care of, because that's my duty. And that's why I started this presentation by my story. I didn't just one day say, hey, I want to be rich and go to and sell Africa. I'm giving you a life experience. Yeah, I didn't grow up in Uganda. I grew up in Kenya, but I'm giving you these life experiences I had that truly transformed me and share. So I truly care about the quality, because this is not a money-driven business. It's completely passion-based.
And this is one of the things why I love working with you, Skylar, is you're so passionate that everybody feels your love for Africa, and it translates. So thank you. Any other questions before we wrap?
When does the deposit have to be in to get the early bird?
January 1st.
Oh, January 1st.
So you have almost a month to think about it, but also to don't wait too long, because some of my trips have sold out in quick. So I'm not saying that I expect that, but it can happen. So I know there's only 5 of us on the call, but A lot of people watch the replay. A lot of people get really excited watching the replay. And then if you decide, we start the process. It takes a couple days with some, it takes a little bit of paperwork because Skylar has to do something on his end for some paperwork. And then there's a couple ways to pay. I think you can either do a wire transfer, you can do a credit card. And so it's not like snap your fingers, it's done, but it'll take a couple days. So we do want to get you started before January 1st for that early bird.
So how it works, just so you guys know, if you guys say, hey, we're ready to book, firstly, my team will send you guys a DocuSign, okay? Richie, if you and your wife are going to go, it will send you one DocuSign. It'll have booking forms for each of you guys. It'll have a payment agreement and terms and conditions. DocuSign means you don't have to print anything. You don't have to scan anything. It's all digitally. You can do it from your phone as well. You'll provide us all that information that we need. We do require that you need to send us a really clear copy of your passport. Julie, that's something that we need to make sure moving forward we have as it could just be a picture of your bio section of your passport that shows all the information. And then, as Julie mentioned, after you complete the booking, the DocuSign, our accountant will send you guys a payment link. You can pay via credit card. You could do an ACH bank transfer, or you can honestly send us an expedited check in the mail if you guys want. If you send us a check or do an ACH bank transfer, there's no additional fees. If you do want to put on a credit card, which a lot of people do because you get a lot of points, there is an additional 3% credit card processing fee, okay? And we take all major credit cards. It's all being handled at our Denver office in U.S. currency, so you're not sending money overseas. And it's up to you guys on how you guys would like to pay. I also wanted to bring up vaccinations, okay? Coming from the United States, there are no vaccinations that are required to go to Kenya, okay? However, Uganda, there is one that is required. Yellow fever vaccination is a must and is required, and you will need to show proof of the vaccination once you do upon entry into Uganda, okay? Yellow fever is a must if you're going to do both. If you're going to do Kenya, you don't necessarily have it. We do recommend it. Typhoid is another one we do recommend. Lasts anywhere from 2 to 5 years, whether you get the injection or orally. And then malaria tablets. You're not going to a high infested area where there's mosquitoes everywhere, but they do exist. And we just taking malaria tablets. Usually you start a couple days prior. You take it every day you're there, and then usually a few days after you guys get back. Those are the 3 I do recommend taking.
So just to clarify,
I'm sorry, can you repeat that one more time, Richie?
Those recommendations will be in the paperwork
that we get. Yep. We'll send you a pre-travel guide. We'll send you all that information. We are not medical certified, so you do have to go to your doctor. And typically, to get the yellow fever, you do need to go to a traveling clinic. I was just told on my last trip, I brought an agent. He went to Costco and he got his yellow fever for free at the pharmacy at Costco. So they're now becoming more available in ways. So you do have to obviously look at vaccinations yourself, find your traveling clinic and look into all that. You will have to take care of visa, your ETA. We recommend do not do that until a month prior. You do it too soon, they only last 3 months. So you do it now, it's going to be expired by the time you get there. And we'll send you instructions and the links to be able to do it. The Uganda visa is $50, 50. And the Kenya ETA, which is pretty much, it's electronic travel authorizations, pretty much their e-visa, it's only $30 per person. And you just do it.
We'll remind everybody.
Yeah.
And just to clarify, there's an additional 3% cost on this because of credit card fees?
Yeah, for the credit card processing fee, correct.
Only if you pay with credit card.
Only if you pay with a credit card.
But sorry, what are the other options again? I mean, I'm in Canada, so.
Okay, so you can send us a check in the mail, or you could do a bank wire. And there won't be any fees with that. Well, you'd have to check with your bank on that if you're in Canada to do the bank wire.
Yeah, it's going to be a credit card.
I wish there was an easier way to transfer between countries.
And then last question, the January 1st date is just for the discount. It doesn't mean that I can't book after the fact.
Absolutely. As long as there's availability, by all means, absolutely.
Okay.
Anything else?
Do all the payments go to you, Skylar, and not to you, Julie? Or how?
It will go directly to my company, SKYIN Corp.
Okay.
Yeah. So not to me, but to my company, correct.
Right.
All payments, booking forms will come to us. We will send everything also to Julie for her reference as well. But yes, everything does go directly through us.
It's one less thing I mess with. So, Skylar, Skylar's company's taking care of it.
And should we decide we want to do this, like who do we reach out to? Do we reach out to Julie and say, hey, I
Julie.
want to? Okay.
Yep. Julie will be your
Yep.
main point of contact. She'll be the, when you have questions and stuff, you check in with Julie. Julie will reach out to me if you want to jump on it. If at any time, Joanne, you're like, hey, I have some questions, whether it's before, even after you book, a month after you book, have some questions or concerns or anything like that, reach out to Julie. Julie will reach out to me and we'll coordinate a 3-way call, jump on a phone call, jump on a Zoom call. She is your main point of contact. She's your agent for this group. But please know that I will still be accessible. I will still be available to meet, talk to you, whatever that needs to be done. You can rest assured and guarantee that I will be available. Even on weekends. I'm here to be able to talk to you whenever is best suited for you.
I can attest to that because I definitely had to talk to Skylar a lot.
Questions come up all the time. Even well after you guys book, a year from now, when you guys are already booked, ready to go, something might come up. You might see something, or hey, I have a question about this, or are we going to do this or that? That's why you reach out to us, and we're here to support you.
Oh, one more thing. My passport expires in November of 2026. So if I book now, I'm going to show you a passport that's expired. Is that going to be a problem?
No, you send me your
ask you for a new one. Yeah.
Yeah. I will ask you to send us your current one. But obviously, as we get closer, as soon as you get your new one, just resend us that one. So no, that will not be an issue for us. We'll make sure I will want to have yours now, just so we can send it to the properties. They do ask for that, and obviously the flights and stuff. But the domestic flight from if you do Uganda, but we can always swap that out. Let them know that hey, their passport expired. Here's the most updated one.
And then, Julie, will you look after the group transporting from Kenya to Uganda for the flight so that everyone's on the same flight, or how's that going to work?
Yeah, we'll make sure that's seamless. Skylar and I will try to figure out probably what's the best way to make sure that's super clear cut, and we'll share it with the group once we have our group who's doing both. And we don't know if it's going to be everybody. I wanted to make it possible for people with short vacation time or a certain budget that they get their safari, they get to do their bucket list trip. The Kenya in low season is really affordable and attainable. Uganda is expensive. Uganda is a different kind of experience, but we are offering that too. Not everybody's going to be able to do it. So, we have a couple different options, whether you want to do just Kenya, you want to do Kenya and Uganda. And along the way, like Skylar was saying, first we're going to get Kenya booked and sorted. And then once we hit our core group for Uganda, then we'll book that kind of like as a little bit of a separate thing. And that's probably when we'll sort out the flights, because a lot of times you can't even book flights this early anyway. It's usually 9 or 10 months before that they open up the inventory. So what you get with me is always tons of reminders, tons of milestone announcements. I'm constantly sharing and resharing and available for questions and answering whatever comes up. So I won't ever let anybody feel in the dark or not know that something important is coming.
So for the deposit, do we just pay a deposit on the Kenya portion of the trip and then indicate whether there's interest in Uganda or not?
Yes.
And then the Uganda deposit will be later? Okay.
Yes, exactly. So that's really important to note is if you're sure you want to do Kenya and maybe still thinking about Uganda, we'll only ask for that 30% on Kenya. So if it's $51.99 minus $400 a person, and then take 30% of that, then that's all you'd have to pay for right now. And then you're good to go for Kenya and not having to pay for the rest of Kenya until 90 days before, which is February 2027.
Yeah.
So,
and then for Uganda, once she has, you'll let us know, hey, I am paying for Kenya, I'm in for Uganda. Once she does have more of a final head count, she's not going to wait till 6 months prior. We will have like a deadline of when she will cut it off. And then you will then send us the 30% for Uganda.
What are the in-country airlines if you choose the Uganda trip? What kind of planes are they?
Oh, they're going to be anywhere from an 8 to about a 40-seater planes or smaller planes that's dependent on how many people are booked for that flight duration, if that makes sense. Not just with you guys. If you're flying out of an airship called Kizoro, that's where it is in Burundi, to Entebbe, and they only have, 10 people booked for that day, they're going to put you on a smaller plane that will accommodate for 10 people.
This is the Burundi to Entebbe.
To Entebbe, correct.
Okay.
Yes, that's the local domestic flight from Burundi to Entebbe. Now, if you're going from Nairobi to Entebbe, you're on a commercial flight. You're on a commercial plane, might have 3 and 3, and then all the way back. That makes sense. So it's a commercial plane. Only time you'll be on a smaller plane is from Entebbe from Burundi back to Entebbe.
Julie, do you help at all with the international flights? Or is that something that we totally do on our own?
I can. If you want me to fully book everything for you, then we do have to, my agency does have a charge that they require. But if you're looking just for advice, then really like as soon as you guys are in the program, if you're booked, I have a group chat I start a group chat. And so there's constantly questions. I'm constantly in there answering, okay, I would recommend this. What do you think about this? What do you think about packing? What do you think about, where do I find the link to, get a yellow fever, all that stuff. I'm available. So I often get questions about what's the best flight, what's the best layover, what's the best A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And so, yes, as soon as you're in the program, and even before too, I'm happy to answer questions.
Yeah, and I think that's what I'm looking for, not really the actual booking, but just advice on airports and stuff, the best way to get in and out. So stuff like that.
Yeah, and I have a lot of how-to videos and things like that also that I've made and I share out, and even blogs that I've written. And I went through this in January, and Skylar was in the chat and he was getting pinged constantly. So I understand, this is an investment. They're investing your money, you're investing your time, you're putting your trust in, in me as helping to coordinate, you're in Skylar, it's an investment. So we want to make sure that you get great value for your investment. It benefits all of us, and that you get everything that you need to feel prepared and ready and excited and part of the group.
And I could promise you guys, I literally promise you on this, even if there's things that we don't take care of ourselves, if you reach out, we are more than happy to assist. Because we truly care about the quality. We truly care about the experience. I mean, I've worked with Julie before. We will go out of our way to make sure that we take care of it. And I promise you that. I'm not just saying that now to get you booked. I promise you, if you need help with looking at flights, I always recommend when you guys do find flights you guys like, send them to us. Let me oversee it myself just to make sure the dates all match up, everything looks good, that it all works with the itinerary before you click pay. Let us be there to extra. If you guys go to your traveling clinic and they recommend this, and you want to get our advice, reach out to us. Let us be, we're the specialists, This is what we're here for. We're here to guide you. We're here to make sure that you guys feel like you're taken care of all the way through. And this is not just some transaction for us. This is truly the quality of the experience that we love to be able to provide our travelers. So... And if you guys want to watch more marketing videos, they are up on our website as well, guys. So you want to see different, we have so many videos that really tell the story and the experiences as well. So please look on there and you'll be able to see a lot more.
Okay.
Thank you very much, both of you.
My pleasure. Yes, and I hope we can welcome you guys one day. If not right, again, this is your investment. This is your time. This is your journey. So you got to make sure it's the right time, right place, right investment for you guys. But we're here to support you. We're here to be with you. And hopefully soon I can show you my world down in Kenya and Uganda too. So
great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Very good.
You are welcome. And I'll just say for anyone who's listening, that's my email address is really easy, julie@travelbta.com. So if whenever you're saying, hey, let's do this, send me a message and we will get the ball rolling.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
My pleasure,
Have a
guys.
good night.
Have a
Bye.
nice day.